So if you're worried about long-term reliability in a car like this, hey guys, I'm Nate. Welcome back to the channel. So just got done dropping a little man off at school, and as a follow-up to the last video that I made on just cost of ownership, I thought I'd cover, okay, well, what is the Hellcat Reliability like? So I've had this car now for almost 6 years. Doesn't have that many miles on it, as you would expect out of a 6-year-old car, but I've had it for 6 years. And when I drive it, I don't exactly take it easy on the car, as I'm sure you've seen in some of my videos. So what has it been like in terms of reliability? So yeah, I mean, it's a pretty big engine, there's a lot of stuff, a lot of electronics. So I had a scare when I first got the car. So I bought the car in August of 2015, and I figured, okay, it's a new car, whatever, it's, you know, filled with oil, whatever. I made the mistake of not checking the oil regularly. So I figured, okay, well, I'll just get an oil change. Like my previous challenge, I'll just get an oil change in like 3 months and they'll, you know, refill the oil. Well, that was a mistake. So I checked the oil at one fill up just out of chance, just, hey, you know, let's see how things are going. And what I noticed is, so on the 2015s, the stock dipstick that comes with the car, it's like this little wire thing with like a, I don't know, like a weight on the end. And that's supposed to tell you the last quart of oil that's in the dipstick. Now I changed that out to the blade style. You can see that in my oil change video, because I just didn't like it. It was a pain to put in, it was a pain to take out. I didn't like the fact that it only read that last quart. So the new one, it's just a lot easier and you can see more than just the last quart. What I noticed on that was it was bone dry, and I'm sure, as you can imagine, I mean, my heart just sank when I saw that. I was like, oh my God, I just bought this car. This is, you know, I'm pretty sure this engine isn't cheap, and now I'm going to end up with some kind of damage because I ran it dry. Well, it turned out it was actually pretty significantly under. I want to say like 1 1/4 or 1 3/4 low on the oil level. It doesn't seem to have affected the car long term, but yeah, pro tip, make sure you check your oil when you buy the car. At each fill up or every couple of fill ups, just check the oil level and make sure it's still good. I've made that a habit now. I go to fill gas and I'll check the oil. Maybe not every time, but at least every couple of times I'll check the oil level. Now, the other couple of things that I've had with this car really is the battery, which that's to be expected. You have a car for 6 years, you're gonna have to replace the battery at some point. I give you a tip on that. Don't go to the dealership. I think the dealership will charge you almost $200 for an OEM battery plus whatever they charge you to install a battery, and it's really not that hard. The battery's in the trunk, by the way, if you're gonna do the job. Walmart sells, it's like an Everstart, I think that's the brand, Everstart battery. So I picked it up, same size, everything, $150, so a little bit cheaper than what the dealer charges. And I checked the battery, the labeling, it's the exact same battery as the dealership, as the OEM battery. So the exact same, it's manufactured by the same people, all of that stuff. So you want to save some money on your battery, buy that Walmart. You're not getting an inferior product, you're getting the exact same battery, and you're saving about $50. The other thing that has failed on this car, and apparently it's a common issue, not just on the Hellcat, but on Challengers in general, maybe Chargers, because I guess the parts are interchangeable, is the ABS wheel speed sensor. So I've had that happen on the front passenger wheel. So I actually caught that because I used the little sensor, the Blue Driver ODB2. So regular ODB2 is not going to catch anything outside of just engine sensor stuff. So the Blue Driver is nice because it can scan the ABS sensor and all the other modules in the car. I did a video on the Hellcat check engine light, so you can kind of see how that thing works. Pretty cool piece of kit. But that one scanned it, told me it was the wheel speed sensor. It even sent me to Amazon to say, hey, this is most likely the part. So I guess it has to be a pretty common issue if they have it in the database and they already know what part you need to replace. So yeah, that cost me like $56 on Amazon, and I found some videos on YouTube on how to replace it. It was really easy. Pretty much just had to take the front wheel off to unclip the wire stuff, right, that routes the wires, and then just unplug it and replace it and put everything back. Probably took me like less than an hour to do that job, and I was taking my time. So also keep in mind, this is the first model year Hellcat. So you always kind of expect the first model year of any vehicle to be the least reliable. And I know the early production versions had like recalls for fuel leaks, and there's some people that complain about supercharge. The supercharger makes like a whining noise. I haven't had any of that issue. So I gotta tell you, this car's been pretty solid. And my previous 2 Challengers, same thing. And what's nice about this is not like a BMW or Mercedes. If something goes wrong with this car, the parts are pretty cheap. The process to replace the stuff is usually pretty easy. There's a lot of access in this car because it's so big. So yeah, I say have at it. So if you're worried about long-term reliability in a car like this, and oh my God, you know, what's gonna happen if something breaks, I'd say don't really worry. Plus they made so many of these that there's probably a ton of used parts available if you really need to swap something big in a pinch. All right guys, check out these next videos. Hope you enjoyed this one, and I'll see you there. Thanks, bye.